Well, a very special namaskar and salam dosto, and welcome friends once again to West Indian Today, a proud presentation on behalf of the staff and management of ITV. This is yours truly, your host and host, Imran Ahmad, and today we are looking to talk about preserving our great culture and of course encouraging the young ones to take it, to make it attractive, actually to make it appealing for the younger generation, saluting our ancestors, saluting our great heritage, and of course learning about the similarities of different cultures. And who better to talk about that than none other than a very special individual who actually has been blessed to have a taste of different cultures herself, Miss Romanee Kalicharran, and your family is actually very famous for taking many tours and of course many journeys. So today you're going to be inviting us to be a part of a cultural experience and a cultural journey. It is indeed my honor and privilege to welcome you to our program.
Thank you so much for having me, and for all the viewers watching, thank you so much for embracing this project.
Thank you so much. And of course, this project that Romanee is talking about is actually bringing two different art forms of dance, or two different dance forms together. When Kathak meets Bomba, actually.
Where Kathak and Bomba meet in me.
Right. Oh, before we get into that, Romanee, being that you, as I said just a few moments ago, you've been blessed to have a taste of different cultures. So kindly tell us about yourself, your background, and also your artistic background. You are a renowned dancer amongst, in the field of Indian dance and Bomba dance.
Well, to speak a little bit more about my background, as you said, my background is Indo-Guyanese and Puerto Rican. So
Yes.
this project is very near and dear to me because it really starts from my personal journey.
Right.
My training is in Kathak and also in Bomba.
Right.
So many people don't know that from the Bomba world. They haven't seen me dance Kathak. Some have, but most haven't. And from the Kathak world, they haven't seen me dance Bomba. And also from the music world, playing harmonium, being involved in music. So this is really a musical, artistic, and dance journey that really focuses on, the ancestral link.
Right.
Not just in Puerto Rico or Guyana, but all over the world, where people have similar experiences, or let's say their ancestors had similar experiences. And growing up in a home, to be exposed to all these different types of music and dance and art forms, even piano, guitar, all of these different things, what really stuck with us were our traditional forms. For some reason, there's a call there, and when you get to a certain phase in your life, you realize that those things have a very special place.
Right, correct.
Yes.
So, and then with this program, as you said, where Bomba and Kathak meet in me, this is actually like a series of a cultural journey in which it'll start actually from the 8th of November.
Yes.
And then it'll carry on throughout the month of November. It'll conclude on the 20th of November. And it's actually bringing two cultures, or bringing cultures, like celebrating diversity in various ways, breaking it down to experiencing different cultures in the terms of food, and of course meeting artists and getting their experience about being a part of this project. Now I have to ask you actually, because you've been involved, as you said, in Bomba dance and of course in Kathak, when initially did this project come about in your mind?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question in that I can't pinpoint one day and say, oh, this is in my mind. I
Right.
think it's something that calls you, because
Right.
it's not just a performance or a display. It's something that within me has been developing, I feel, forever, actually. But it's only when you're actually trained and have a voice in that, both styles, or whatever style that you're speaking about, then you say, okay, well, now I have a right to say something. And also that I'm trained enough, or I have the blessings from my gurus to do such a thing, and really show both with the utmost integrity and respect. Because there is something to be said about that as well. It's not just this mixing or a spectacle. This is something that's much deeper than that.
Correct.
And for those who are coming, this is really for the elders to be coming out, and for them to really find themselves, and to find themselves on that stage, to find themselves in the workshops, and for the children to come and be inspired, to really want to do their own dance forms and music forms, but also to ask those questions of themselves. Who am I? What am I doing in this world? What mark do I want to leave in this world? But it's just me trying to give a lens to the audience or give a lens to the students that are going to be participating and tell them, you know, this is yours and I want you to feel something. It's very hard to have someone feel something,
Correct.
but that was my intention with the open drum circles and the interactive performances where the audience can actually learn a phrase and come and perform it with us. And you know, the underlying theme is to really have cultural tolerance and
Correct.
understanding. It's not to say this is the same as that or we're all one. It's great to show the distinction because that's beautiful. The uniqueness is beautiful. And what the connections are is for us to find and for us to say, oh, that links us. But just the humanity of it, just the human experience of the historical aspects, but also, let's say, the rhythmic aspects of it. The drummers would find that appreciation, the dancers would find appreciation within the movement. And of course, like the elders, I said, will find appreciation in the historical, you know, context of it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So in this project, it's about saying, okay, what atmosphere is Kathak? Was Kathak in and where is it now? Where was Bomba originated from?
Correct.
And where is it now? And putting it really on a stage is also a way of preserving it in a way because it's taken out of its original context, but still the characteristics are fully there. And then putting them side by side and saying, you know, let's look at this and let's appreciate what it was. And another thing to be said is to respect the people who carry it, because that's how I feel that's where the gap is that if we don't respect the people who carry it, the gurus,
Right.
or in Puerto Rico we say the don or the doñas.
The doña,
These
okay.
people are the people who we needed to communicate with before they're gone. And a lot of people have passed, but we still have some. We still have some, and if we can try to, you know, pick their brain or get their blessing or something, you know, that's where we would have that respect. The younger generation needs to talk to their grandparents. The grandparents need to be open enough
to share that
share
experience,
this.
yes.
So it's not just one. It's not saying, well, this side is wrong or that side is wrong, but the intercultural gap needs to be filled somehow, and that's where the living and the breathing of the arts are. They don't just exist somewhere in space. They exist in each person who's transmitting it. So that's really what it is.
You know, you beautifully put it in so many wonderful words. And when I was listening to you, I remembered a very famous saying that what brings us together is always greater than what separates us apart. And it's so wonderful to see you mention the key word, the links. Yeah. So it's, you know, through the form of music, we find that we are linked in various ways in the form of dance, in the form of drums, you know, I mean, because in Indian music, drums is essential for a dancer to dance. They move to the beat of the drums. And similarly in bomba dance as well. So we find that the links are there, you know, I mean, that I always say that the essence remains the same, although the language may be different. In fact, in a video clip, which we will be showing you later on, there was a piece of portrayal actually where you were talking about or showing, depicting about the suppression of one time, you know, I mean, and talking about the ancestors.
Yes.
So now it makes, and you also spoke about the historical content in which you said that the elders will be, you know, they'll appreciate that, they can reflect to it, they can actually connect with it. And now inspiring the young ones through these historical contents, what is really going to be expected, or in what way are you going to be depicting this historical content to basically inspire the young ones to want to dive further and further into their culture and, you know, learn more about their culture and learn more about other cultures? Well,
there's many opportunities for the person who is of academic thinking, or someone who is of, you know, a tactile learning, or someone who is of auditory learning, because I have so many different parts of the series.
Right.
So, for instance, we have the open drum circles, as I said. So some people just want to feel.
Correct.
And feel what that connection is and jam, and then they're like, oh wow, I respect you. That's wonderful. Then we also have the academic part where I'm doing readings from my writing.
Correct.
And we have artist panel discussion, so we can actually get into their minds as, you know, cultural ambassadors for, you know, all intents and purposes, you know, and really speak to them as to how they feel about what they're doing and where their craft is concerned, how they feel to preserve it, and how they deal with innovation within themselves as artists. And as far as the ancestral link, I put the drama in there and I take them back in time. And it could be anywhere, any place, any time in history. Guyana, Puerto Rico, India, it could be Africa, it could be anywhere. But the feeling and the sentiment of oppression is there. And in this particular performance, it's that the music really rang true for these people, because whether they were praying with music singing, worshiping, doing their rituals, doing their weddings, doing their funerals. Music was always a part. Dance was always a part. And that really, I felt like the music and dance was something that saved them in a way and kept them going, kept their spirit going.
Right.
So that's something, that hasn't changed. That's something that if we hear a rhythm now, whether it's in our culture or not, we're still ready to clap.
We're still ready to,
we're ready to clap.
To sway to the beats, yes.
There you go. And especially for Caribbean people, you
know? Yes. We're basically being defined for like singing and dancing,
well,
that's our signature.
So that's not that different. That appeal is still there,
But yes, you know what, so now talking about where bomba and kathak actually meet in me. Now I've seen, you've actually described bomba in, its classical form. And to prepare myself for this interview, I actually did go online and I was doing some research on bomba, and I've seen it actually evolve in somewhat of a fast-paced form of dance. So how do you take a dance like bomba and of course, kathak, and how do you blend them together?
As far as sentiment or expression, or what we call in kathak abhinaya, which is the facial expression or the hand gestures, it's really a portrayal at a certain level of performance. Both of them have improvisation, both. And that's where both of them actually have that meeting, where I can do certain rhythms with kathak drums, which is tabla, or bomba drums, which is bariles. The patterns can be very similar.
Correct.
Right? So the improvisation is there. So some parts of kathak, yes, it is very codified and it is very, strict. But there are, when you get to certain other parts of performance, there is the looseness of the improvisation, of course, within our musical meter.
Right.
But there is that space, and that's where the fun starts. That's where the fun starts. That's when the music lover says, oh, let's see what she can do on a 16-beat cycle. Let's see what she can do on an 8-beat cycle or a 10.5-beat cycle. And the same thing with the bomba drums. They also have their rhythm cycles.
So in some way, it's actually challenging the versatility of a dancer. Showing that a dancer is not really limited to one art form.
No, not at all. Not at all. But it's really being trained in both.
Yes.
Whether it be these two, tap, ballet, jazz, whatever it is.
Yes.
So that you get to the point of your training and where you go from where your training left you.
Right.
To create your expression. And that's where the innovation really starts.
Right, yeah.
Right? So it's like putting a puzzle together and saying, I still want it to look like bomba. I still want it to look like kathak.
Right,
but how does it still look like me?
Exactly.
And that's where I say where kathak and bomba meet in me. It's not how it meets in me.
I
know how it meets in me because I was born of mixed heritage.
Yes,
but where it meets in me is in the rhythm. Where it meets in me is with the dress or the falda, which is a skirt.
Correct.
Where it meets in me is in the experience of both of the sets of my ancestors. Where it meets in me is today, right now in New York, that I'm speaking about it, and I could talk to people of mixed heritage or the youth of today and say, this is important. This is important, whether you're mixed or not. This is still important.
You now mentioned, and in the beginning of the program, we spoke about preserving. Now, for the elder generation, we're appealing to the elder generation to come out, and reflect on their great culture. This is something that they can connect to. For the young ones that want to learn, and of course, be inspired to move forward. In what way are you inspiring them, or what way are you, reaching out to them and encouraging them to be a part of this project?
Well, we're reaching out to specific groups, let's say drummers, dancers, schools. I also teach in the public school system. So I teach even from the little ones to appreciate where they come from. It's not about learning about me, but it's still really inspiring them to appreciate where they come from.
Right.
Whether it be China or Russia, it doesn't matter where they're from. That whatever their parents fought for, their grandparents fought for, is very valid, and they should appreciate that. They should be themselves, not try to be somebody else, but they should know that when someone else looks at them, when someone else looks at you, whoever's looking at this, they're always going to look at what they see first. Yes. They might see a Guyanese, but they might not know. They might say that's an Indian first.
Correct.
Right? If you see someone, they don't know if that person is from Spain or whatever, they're going to say, oh, that's a European. They have no clue.
No clue.
Where. Right. Because we're working with also our point of view and our perspective, what was ingrained in us from whoever we've been exposed to. It also has to do with where we live, what kind of music we have been exposed to, and the type of viewpoint like our parents instilled in us. So for the younger generation, I do want to appeal to them to come out and really be themselves. I don't want them to come and just learn bomba or just learn kathak and force them to play tabla. And after each class that we're teaching, I'm having djembe drummers, tapu drummers, dholak drummers, anybody that wants to come. If you want to knock tabletop, that's okay with me. If you want to knock some spoons, whatever it is that makes you vibe and say, you know, this rhythm is in all of us. We have a rhythm all the time in us. Correct. That metronome is our heart. So that's something that's beyond all the lines. And for the younger generation, that's what sometimes we don't want to think too much.
Right.
We just want to feel. And that part of it is really for them because, you know, if we can inspire them, if we can inspire the 5-year-old child to come out and just swing their skirt a little bit, they'll always remember that.
Oh, definitely.
They will always remember that.
So with this project, you're tapping into all the different boroughs, actually.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, where does it start from, and where do we end off with?
So we start from Manhattan, we go to the Bronx, and we end up in Brooklyn. So some of the projects are in partnership with other groups that are geared towards organizations that really foster these types of dance and music. So that's a really great thing. And I have some of myself and some of my artists doing workshops with them and classes with them. I'm actually doing some of the events are in partnership, which is great to support each other.
Right.
So that's starting in Manhattan. The majority of the exclusive Romanee and Company performances and classes are going to be at the Andrew Friedman Home in the Bronx.
Correct.
And the final performance is going to be on November 20th, and that's at the Brooklyn Music School. And I really chose that place because it's historic in its own right.
Right.
That they really tried to restore it.
Right.
You know, and to really use it for artists and for the community. So every single point and every part of this project has been deliberate in the way that I want to be associated with other groups or how they want to be associated with me. You know, so I really want to also give this, offer this platform to business owners and to other organizations that even want to, you know, take an ad or do a little, you know, promo with me, you know, so that they also cross borders. This is also about crossing borders.
Definitely.
You know, and having that tolerance in so many different ways because we're all basically trying to do the same thing.
There are a few things I would like for her to share with us, but we will do so after this quick commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching West Indian Today with yours truly, Imran Ahmad. Welcome back once again, friends, and if you're just tuning in to us, a very special welcome to West Indian Today. And if you've been watching our program so far, you know that we've indeed been having a blast as we're ready to jam away, and of course we're ready to come together and experience our culture, understand the richness of our own culture, and of course understand the greatness of other cultures as we're inviting you for a multicultural journey presented to you by Romanee and Company. And of course, joining with me on behalf of Romanee and Company is none other than Miss Romanee Kalicharran once again. So Romanee ji, as we are, just getting set and we're, looking forward for this great event. Yeah. We've been talking about it so much, but if one wishes to, purchase tickets to attend either one of the events, be it in the Bronx, Brooklyn, or Manhattan, how can they go about doing so?
They can easily just go onto the website, romaneeandcompany.com. So that's romaneeandcompany.com. You can go on to the upcoming events, and there's full event details, the calendar. It will link you to the Eventbrite, ticket page. You can even go onto Eventbrite and put on, Romanee and Company, and you'll be led that way. Also, you keep keeping you in abreast with everything that's going on. We are also going to have tickets available at certain locations. So, looking forward to that as well. But the easiest way is to actually reserve it online. Yes. And to just reserve your seat. We do have VIP tickets available. We do want to meet with you guys. So we have meet the artists. We have basically a reception at every event with foods from the different cultures. So that's really, everyone loves to have something to eat, and just really touching upon that, finding the similarities with the food and the appreciation. Those things are part of the intercultural journey as well. Right. Yes.
So actually, that's how we start off this journey, by experience and exploring the different foods, and of course, comparing them, the similarities within the food, and then we move forward. Actually, you spoke about the drummers, and when I think about it, you were also welcoming artists from both cultures. Yes. Of the Indian culture and of course. Yes. Of the Puerto Rican culture. So let's talk about your artists that has been a part of this project.
Sure. Each one of them have been on their own journey within their own careers. All of them are ambassadors in their own right. We have Naren Budhakar, who is a maestro at tabla. He's traveled all over, performed with me many, many times, but also with Pandit Birju Maharaj, has many cross-cultural repertoire under his belt all over, and actually performed in Puerto Rico many times. We also have Don Angel Reyes. He's actually my teacher of bomba and also an artist with me in many performances as well, whether I'm dancing bomba or kathak. And he's originally from here, went back to Puerto Rico with that ancestral call, became a master at bomba, fast forward a couple of decades, and now is in Florida. And he's coming up just for this particular project and, teaches dance and music and all of these things through bomba. And he's from Taller de Balance, de Bomba Balance, which is based in Florida. We also have Dr. Drum, who's based here in the Bronx, and he has Bomba Yo, and that's his organization. So he reaches out to the elders and has elder groups and the children groups of bomba and has them really healing themselves emotionally through these things.
Correct,
So
yes.
there's so much therapy in music and dance. And then of course we have myself, and then we have a special artist who's coming just to do a feature and to really be part of us because of being so excited about this, which is none other than Shri Kinar Singh,
Yes,
who's
Ustad
also
Kinar Singh ji.
who's also my music guru of Hindustani vocal and harmonium. So he's going to be there with us being part of this project as well. So we encourage all the students out there from all the organizations. This should be something united with all of us.
And when I'm listening to you speak, and I'm listening to, sometimes you have like this great versatility, this great variations of language. I've heard you actually speak the Creolese Guyanese, and then I can hear the accent, the Puerto Rican accent coming out. So and that's key, because I mentioned in the beginning that one of the reasons why we've actually been separated, or the cultural barriers has been because of the language. Will we be seeing like a blend of language as well?
Definitely. That's a charge that I've taken upon myself, and it's a way for me to really appeal to everyone and say that it is not your fault that you don't know your language, but it's what you're going to do with it. You can learn. You have everything at your disposal today. If you want to learn Devanagari, if you want to learn Hindi, if you want to learn Spanish, or do whatever you want to learn, you have it. So in this project, I'm taking it upon myself to actually speak all the languages from my heritage, whether it be one line or a whole paragraph or in a song, whatever it is. That presence has to be there, because to speak to someone in their mother tongue means that I respect them.
Right.
And that is very important, because they are not someone else. They're part of me. The audience is part of me, and I'm part of them.
So it's about coming together and celebrating our culture, celebrating our food, our music, the dances, and that is what we're going to do for an entire month on this beautiful and cultural experience presented to you by Romanee and Company.
And we look forward to having you, Imran.
Thank you. I'm indeed very honored to be a part of this project.
Yes, you're going to be our official host, and really bringing programming like this to the community is very important, and that appeal that you have across the generations is important for me to choose someone who fits right with everything that we're doing. So we look forward to seeing him.
Thank you so much. This is actually one of the biggest opportunities of a lifetime, and I'm looking forward to being a part of a cultural experience. Romanee, in closing, I'm going to give you the final opportunity to reach out to our viewers once again and encourage them to be a part of your project. And whatever you think we left out, you can go ahead and do so.
Sure. So everyone watching and everyone who wants to pass this message along, today is the day. Today's the day to join an intercultural movement. Be part of something that's substantial, that's important to you. Make a start now. And come and see what it's like. If you're confused, if you're not sure what this is all about, maybe you're Guyanese, maybe you're Puerto Rican, maybe you're Indian, maybe you're something else, but there's something there for you. There's definitely something there for you. And log on and check out the website, romaneeandcompany.com, and go on to upcoming events, and everything is there. And we look forward to seeing you. Buy your tickets today, reserve your spot, come jam with us, bring your skirt, bring your drums, bring your children, and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Romanee. Thank you for being with us, and best of luck in this project.
Thank you.
We hope to see that this project shall reach more and more people, and it'll continue to prosper and grow as the years go by. Thank you so much. And as she spoke so much about cultural, and we talk about a cultural experience, we take a quick moment to remember a cultural icon who started ITV Vision of Asia nearly 40 years ago. It's around this time that the late Dr. Banad Vishwanath left the material world, and we take a final moment to remember him, and we thank him for all that he's done for the Indian culture and the Indo-Caribbean culture through the means of ITV. So on that note, we say thank you for tuning in, and of course thank you to Ravi Kumar. Have a blessed and a wonderful week ahead. We'll be with you right here next week, same time, same place.
Take a journey through India, Guyana and Puerto Rico and discover your intercultural truth, where Kathak and Bomba meet in me, an intercultural series from November the 8th through November 20th this year. Be moved by the drama, a universal story of freeing the chains of colonization through music and dance.
¿Por qué vino usted? ¿Para ayudarnos? You come here for trick, Abby, because I'll be here work for you. You like me, Safana?
Awaken yourself. Your ancestors are here. Oh brother, oh sister, oh friend, they're here with you today. And today, our music, our rhythm is what makes us happy. Their music is what's awakened in us through them.